This is News Desk. You're welcome. Now, Power Ministry Dr. Kwabena Donkor Monday assured, or Power Minister rather, Dr. Kwabena Donkor Monday assured Ghanaians the ongoing energy crisis will end by close of 2015. Following that, Michael Ante has been speaking to members of the public on what they think about this fresh promise.
On Monday, the Power Minister held a press conference assuring Ghanaians of the end to Dumsor. Now, he has put his job on the line in an exclusive interview with Joy News that he will resign if Dumsor does not end by the end of this year. But what do you make of it? Do you believe the minister, or do you believe that the promises he's made is going to be fulfilled? Or do you believe it's one of those promises that they make all the time? We will interrogate the matter from the general public, including you at home. Let's see what your thoughts are. Yesterday, the Power Minister promised that Dumsor is going to end in 2015. And if he doesn't, he's going to resign. Do you really believe in what the minister says, the promises the minister is making?
Well, it is a policy that he is trying to bring out. So right now, if he is bringing the policy out, I don't know the perception he has for the government or the program that they have for the government. So I think if he is bringing those things out and it will work, I'm sure you have to prove to us, we the Ghanaians, to know that what we are trying to contribute to build the Ghana, we are using it very well. Not that today the light off, tomorrow this, tomorrow this. We don't want to do anything like that.
So do you believe in the timeline he's given that Dumsor is going to end in 2015? Are you sure he's going to end?
No, I don't believe in that.
Why?
Because maybe they will say it as times go on. They come and blow, sometimes say something that they want to say, so that people will hear to their ears. But if it will be that, we are praying for him so that it will work well.
But do you believe in the policies that he's bringing? He's outlined some measures that the ministry is taking to ensure that the Dumsor ends forever. Do you believe in those policies?
Well, it's true. Some are true. But the way they will execute it, that's my problem. If they execute it, then all of us will know that, oh, this is what the program that they have brought on board is working well. Fine, I don't have any problem with that.
That's difficult to say. Unfortunately, they didn't give a specific date, so it's going to be very hard for us to measure whether it's going to happen. But I'm expecting that since next year, 2016, is a political year, they'll try to live up to it.
So you believe that the minister is going to fulfill his promises?
I'm not believing, I'm actually hoping.
That Dumsor is going to end in 2015. Do you believe in that?
No, I don't believe it.
Why?
Because if you look at the situation now, a lot of promises the government has made. There's no this thing. He failed. You see, so tomorrow promise, today promise, other day promise. So I don't believe all the promise will fulfill.
What do you think of what he says? He says that if these promises are not fulfilled, he is resigning. What do you make of this?
You see, this issue he had made, I think if it is me, I'll resign today. If it is me, I'll resign because he can't do it.
Dumsor is going to end. Let's see. They keep promising and failing, so let's see what happens. But I'm not very optimistic about his promise. I personally think, let's see what happens.
What do you make of the policies, the interventions that he says he's bringing on board to end Dumsor forever, that Dumsor will not happen again from 2015 onwards?
To be very honest with you, I think we've heard so much of these promises in the past. So usually when they give these promises, I take it with a pinch of salt. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt and see what happens.
So it's going to end in 2015?
I'm not sure.
Why do you say that?
Because of the crisis where we are meeting. It's very, very hard. That's why we can't, and you can't end it.
The minister has put his job on the line. He says if it doesn't end in 2015, he's going to resign. Do you really hold him by these words?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure he will resign. But it's only saying that he's going to resign, but I'm not sure he will resign.
Do you really believe in those words? And he put his job on the line that if he doesn't, he will resign. What do you make of these promises?
I think I believe in it. We should start believing in our leaders. I'm actually a Nigerian. If they make promises like this and put their jobs on the line, let's give them some hope. Let's give them a try. I think they also have families that the light-off is affecting. So let's believe in them and give them a chance.
He also outlined some interventions that he says are going to help to resolve the Dumsor issue forever. Do you really believe in these words that Dumsor is going to end in 2015?
I don't.
Why?
We have had several of such promises. None of them have been fulfilled. So what is different with this kind of promise? The president himself has given several promises on different platforms. We have not seen any results. So what is it to tell Ghanaians that this one is going to be different?
He has put his job on the line, saying that if by the end of 2015, Dumsor does not end, he is going to resign.
That would be very beautiful. And that's what Ghanaians are expecting. Dumsor has come to create problems for Ghanaians. All businesses are collapsed. People are living in hunger. They are living in deprivation because of Dumsor. So thank God if Dumsor is going to end, and if he doesn't, he's going to lose his job. That will be beautiful news.
Clearly, none of the people we've spoken to seems to believe in the promises made by the minister, not even putting his job on the line. But what about you at home? Do you believe in what he says? Do you believe Dumsor is going to end in 2015? I hand over back to the studio to continue with the discussions.
Well, I don't know if I should believe this fresh batch of promises or not, but let's try and assess it. Hopefully, it would inform what we should and shouldn't believe. John Peter Amewu is Director of Policy and Research with the Africa Center for Energy Policy. He's joined me over the telephone. John.
Hello.
Thanks for your company here on the program. What's your assessment of the press held by the Power Ministry Monday?
Well, thank you, and also good morning to your listeners. I think most of the issues raised by the minister are not new to the citizens of this country. Don't forget, the president on his own came out with such assurances some time ago. You recollect that somewhere in 2013, we stated categorically that going into 2015 and beyond, the power problem of this country is going to deepen if policies and measures are not put in place to address the problem. We are here because of mismanagement. I mean, it's simple. It's just because of mismanagement and the culture of maintenance, lack of maintenance as a culture that this NDC administration brought into this country. Look, even if you drive on the roads that we have, most of the run from the Volta region, the roads have been left unmaintained for a long time. You go to the district assemblies, a lot of vehicles are parked there, not being maintained. The problem of the energy sector is not alone. It cuts across the whole government. And so that tells you with the kind of caliber of people you are dealing with. Why are we here today? We're here basically because our generation capacities and generation reserves that are supposed to be maintained over a certain period had not been done. Currently, we have about 2,800 megawatts. I mean, even if you say that because of maintenance, 800, 500 is out, we should still have sufficient enough to be able to address our power problem in this country. When Breathe Power was commissioned, we came on air and cautioned this government that we is a regulatory dam. If you deploy the whole of we, you break down the dam. There will not be any water left in the dam. The government didn't listen. The government subject we to an intense pressure because at that time the government was refusing to give out money to buy light crude oil to fire the generation. And so Because the government don't want to buy crude oil, we have to subject we and Akosombo to such an intense pressure. And that is why we break down. And that is why Akosombo is as it is now. The issues of non-availability in the water, in the dam, both we and Akosombo, is because we have stretched the two dams. Those dams are supposed to complement the efforts of our combined gas cycle turbines. At the point in time, government was not advancing money. And so that is why we use those, dams to that level.
But
that
John,
is why today, even though the price of crude oil is very low, we are now complaining of generation capacity. Don't forget, even at the point in time that crude prices were high, we said that we don't have generation.
That's true.
What happened to Asogli? Asogli could not get gas because the plant was standing. Now we have gas. Now crude prices have come down, and now we are complaining of non-availability of plants to get in those seats.
Well, he mentioned yesterday that Asogli is down because of contaminated lube oil.
No, basically, I'm talking of the previous, when we complained, when Ghanaians asked what the problem was, the solution that best government gave us was that we don't have crude, we don't have light crude, we don't have gas to fire Asogli. Now today we have gas, and we are again complaining that though we have gas, we don't have the generation plants available.
So, John, what's your point here? Is your point
My
the
point
fact
here
that
is that the maintenance culture is also contributing to where we are. Government decision and indecision is also bringing us to where we are. I don't doubt what the sector minister is saying. Dr. Komla Donko is a very fine man, gentleman. He's an expertise in the industry. But you see, you need a lot of support to be able to implement those things that he's talking about. The power badges, we heard about it before, somewhere last year, whether they are coming or not. I doubt it. I doubt it because of the skills of negotiation that is needed, and then where they have to arrive at so that these power plant badges will be brought. I doubt it.
Since you have already mentioned
in the statement, as it's just a roadshow. It's just to tell Ghanaians that we are thinking about the people and we are thinking about the problem. The problems are not going to be addressed. They've been created, and it's going to take some time to address it. Again, it is not only generation issue, and that is one of the reasons why I'm so interested and particular about the government's management of the ECG. I commend the government for the attempts it's making through the privatization of the ECG. It's a way out, because as we keep on saying, ECG currently have one of the worst balance sheets, which is not giving a right indication
John,
to the IPP.
I want us to take the issues here one at a time. Let's talk about the power badges. How do these power badges work?
Well, the emergency power badges are like ships that are brought in and generate power, and they are harvested, into the grid. What happens is that they can move from one source to another. So they are basically, the power badges are basically ships that will be brought in, and they will generate power. Again, they also will get in their light crude. Of course, they also need crude to fire the generation plant. So instead of planting this generation plant on Earth, they are planted within the ship, and the ship can move from one source to another. If you default in payment, they can move around to another regime. And so that is why they are emergency. They are already existing. It doesn't take time to construct. It only takes time to transport them to a stationary point and generate power. So in case of emergencies, countries all over the world use that. But in our case, my fear is the availability of the money and the security in terms of the guarantee that will provide. Nobody will generate power or sell power to you if you are not able to grant some element of security that, well, I will be able to buy. The point is, even if the power badges come, who is going to buy the power? The only authority that is responsible to buy power today in Ghana is ECG. The point is that ECG have that money. What is the cash flow of ECG? What's the balance sheet of ECG? That, again, is not going to give any attractive indication to the generator. And that is why I doubt the implementation of the power badges. I mean, there are a lot of things. That's not the generation. The whole system is in a mess because of the way we have managed the system.
How many megawatts of power can the badges offer us?
Hello?
I'm asking, how many megawatts of power can the badges offer us?
It varies. My understanding is this one can take as high as 100. They are in badges. I'm not too specific as, the generation capacity. But if we can even get 100 now, at least that can even address most of the problem. It means our frequency of the doomsaw, would, be curtailed.
But this is only an emergency system. It doesn't mean that for our situation we would need to have it on for a very long time.
Hello? I can't hear you well.
I'm asking, that you have explained that these badges are for emergency purposes. But in our situation, it's gone beyond just emergency. And so would it mean that as a country we would need it on for a very long time?
If I understand you clearly, you are asking what is the rationale of the emergency badges. Is that it?
You could say that.
Yeah, no, the emergency badges are being, brought in now just to solve the problem temporarily. They are again emergency because, as I stated earlier on, they will come in, to resolve that fluctuating nature that we have within the supply grade. And so that is why they are emergency. They are not fixed. They are not permanent. They are not permanent in the sense that negotiate over a period, probably 1 or 2 years agreement. And after that agreement, the owner of the ship will move the power somewhere when we have our own permanent power supply. So these ones are just coming in to solve the problem. And if the problems are addressed, then they can be moved to other places that they are problems.
But John, of all our priorities, is this what we need at the moment?
At the moment, yes, it's a good attempt. And if government will be able to implement that, of course, that is what we need. That is the only way we can have an immediate generation. But you see, the point that I'm talking about is that it is not only generation. We have a lot of other generation plants sitting down in Takrady. Why are we not putting them into use? We have subjected them all, to a state that will not enable them to operate because of maintenance culture. Number one, even because we don't have any money to buy, light crude oil. Now that crude prices are falling, we still don't have money to fire some of those generations. What is assurance that if you bring in these badges, you'll be able to buy crude oil to fire them? I mean, I doubt the way the government is. The government is confused, honestly. The power sector, we say that there must be a state of emergency. Government must declare state of emergency in the power sector because now we are moving from Doomsor to Doompa. I am telling you, it's going to worse. It's now Doomkra. It's not going to be Doomsor any longer. The government looks track completely, and I think that citizens must begin to hold this government accountable for the way they mismanage, the power sector in this country. It's also because of mismanagement, culture of, lack of maintenance culture, and that is why we are here. Why do you have to subject the breed dam to such an extent? And now you come back and complain that you don't have power in the breed, you don't have water in the breed dam. Breed dam is supposed to be a regulatory dam. If government had advanced money those days for us to buy light crude oil, that light crude oil could fire the other combined cycle turbines.
Now, you also spoke about
this money, and that's why the breed dam was subjected to such a level where we are finding it as it is today. I mean, it's because of mismanagement. I mean, this government have no excuse.
Now, let's talk about the bit about mismanagement. And then you spoke about the ECG and its share of mismanagement. Now we hear that in rolling out the Compact 2. Can you hear me? Hello, John. Hello, John. I think we have lost John there, but what we hear now is the fact that the ECG sometime in March would undergo some sort of privatization. It's unclear which of the forms the government will be going with, whether it will be going with partial privatization or concessions. And would want to have a conversation around that. Still to come, we'll talk about observations made by the Coalition of Domestic Election Observers on district level elections. We'll speak about that briefly. We'll also talk about how commercial drivers could incorporate exit doors in their businesses. You can be a part of the program. Visit facebook.com/Joy News on TV. Drop your thoughts there. When I come back, I'll share some of them. Don't go away.